The Sunday Business Page.
There was good news and bad news this past month about the local employment picture in the Pittsburgh area. First, the good news. Pittsburgh's unemployment rate was down by 1.2% from September 2016 to September 2017. And the Pittsburgh area gained 17,200 jobs during that same period of time. But the number of people in the Pittsburgh workforce dropped by 24,100. So what can these figures tell us about the regional economy? Well, back with us this morning is Doug Heuck, founder, editor, and publisher of Pittsburgh Quarterly Magazine and program director for Pittsburgh Today, part of the University of Pittsburgh Center for Social and Urban Research. Doug, welcome back to the show. It's always good to have you.
Thank you very much, John.
So what's going on here? You know, our unemployment rate drops, but we apparently lose people in the workforce.
You would expect, so the last several years we've had very tepid job growth, very slow. And recently it's picked up. So you would expect, with the kind of the booming, somewhat booming nature of the national economy at this point, that you would expect a lower unemployment rate.
Right.
But you would also expect more people to be entering the labor force here.
Right.
In other words, my gosh, wages are up somewhat. You know, I can finally get a job, or I can get a higher paying job. But in fact here, as you said, we've lost 24,000 people out of the labor force, which is...
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot. Now, so why would that be happening? At the more mature end of an economic cycle, other places, other metro areas are more booming than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh generally does well statistically when we're coming out of a recession, and the other places catch fire much more later on. So probably some people are getting better jobs elsewhere, and they're saying, you know, I feel great, I'm going to move to so-and-so or somewhere. We're
Right.
probably also having some retirees, as the Allegheny Conference has been telling us. Our baby boomers are starting to retire. And we're probably losing some population in general, which has been happening.
I know nationally it's 10,000 baby boomers retire every day. I don't know if it's better or worse on average here in Pittsburgh, but certainly that would help explain some of it. But the fact is, it does seem counterintuitive, because you clearly, if unemployment is going down and there are jobs here, you'd think more people would be working. Are these folks leaving the area? Is that part of it, do you think?
Well, last year we had population loss. Now this is confounding to some people who look at the city of Pittsburgh and say, well, my gosh, it seems like the city's booming.
Right.
And in many regards it is. But when you're looking at the metropolitan, 7-county metropolitan statistical area, you have Fayette County, which has still 7 or 8% unemployment. Armstrong County, similar. And so in that whole swath, you do have people still continuing to, some are probably moving, some of it's more deaths than births, because we have this older population.
Right, and I do think it's important that we're talking about the region, not just city of Pittsburgh or Allegheny County. We're talking about the Fayettes and the Washington counties, and Beaver and Butler and Westmoreland and all around us. One of the things that caught my attention was where we are gaining jobs over the last 12-month period. Transportation and utilities up 9.3%. That seemed pretty high to me. Leisure and hospitality up 4.2%. And even construction, of course, we see out some of that, up 2%. Financial activities up 2.8%. Is this the strength area?
You know, years ago, I'm going to say 20 years ago, people started talking about, you know, we could create, and trying to sell the idea of Pittsburgh as a tourism economic place where people would want to come, and people scoffed at it and laughed. Now that's happening.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in terms of the tourism and the hospitality numbers,
yeah, the second area of the greatest growth in the last 12
but even
months.
Beyond that, that's been the strongest area for the last 4 and 5 years. What's interesting about the most recent numbers is you have weakness in meals and hospitality. Now that's a segment of that overall thing. So what that shows is this restaurant recession, if you will, is kind of taking root here. We've been talking about the notion of, you know, the restaurant stuff is great, but there are just too many. And so we're starting to see losses there. Where we're seeing the strength is in arts and entertainment, the tourism, people coming here for the Steelers or for the symphony or for the ballet, et cetera.
And you know, every other second, it seems like they're building another hotel in this region.
Right.
So somebody must be coming here. That's interesting what you say about the restaurant business, because again, I think we're getting a bit of a rep as a foodie place. But you're saying that that's not across the board, it's not helping.
No, I think I mean, I think people would say who live here, it's been great. I mean, look at all the places to eat. I think the difficulty is without a hugely expanding population base, there are several problems. One is customer base. I mean, there's not a ton of new customers, so one's going here and they used to go there. There's also the employment problem, finding staff, that's a problem.
Right,
so,
and the customer is important because you can only eat at one place at one time, and sometimes those prices are a little high. Doug Heuck, thank you so much for coming in and sharing the information with us. We always appreciate your explanations. Thank you. When the Sunday Business Page continues, important information on how to get some economic help to